Halloween action. What's going on, everybody? It's finally here. The 2-year wait is finally over. I finished my Halloween franchise review and my ranking, and now I'm topping it off. I'm done with this review. I just saw the very first showing, a lot of children in the theater. So Halloween 2018 tells the story about Michael Myers 40 years later breaking out of the insane asylum at Smith's Grove and slowly but surely making his way back to Haddonfield where Laurie is waiting for him. So what are my overall thoughts about this movie? Well, let's start with the positives. First off, the mask. The mask I wasn't crazy about when I first saw the trailer, but this mask grows on you, and I think this probably is the second or third, maybe I would say the second or third best mask in this franchise. You got a very good portrayal of Myers. He's menacing, he's tall, he walks around like he's made of metal. Just his footsteps are kind of loud, and they do make him feel intimidating in this movie. This movie does have a couple of good moments of genuine suspense and creepy-ass moments where Michael will come out of the shadows, which is exactly what you need for the shape. And even the kills in this movie kind of combines the first two movies together with the brutality of Halloween 2 and the creepy shape of the first movie. They kind of combine so you get the best of both worlds. In this movie, it does have a couple of genuinely funny moments, but I wouldn't say that's also a negative in this movie, but that's also a positive because we don't get too many funny Myers movies. This movie, like H2O, explains the dramatic effect that experience in 1978 has had on Laurie Strode. She's had a couple of divorces. Her own kid can't really stand her because she's been raised to be paranoid and she hates her. She resents her mother for how she raised her to be a paranoid person. And then you get the granddaughter who actually loves her grandma and feels bad for her grandma, Laurie. And the whole atmosphere of this movie does feel like the fourth and fifth movie. It actually has that autumn vibe that I talked about in my reviews that the first one was missing. And I love the fact that this movie pays so many like winks and nods at every single film in the first 5 entries of this movie, including part 3. You get the Season of the Witch Mask, you get the whole walking down the alley scene from part 2 where he goes into the random person's house and takes a weapon. Just all kinds of little things where you're like, oh, that's from part 1. Oh, that's from part 4. How he gets his mechanic suit, the whole convenience store slash mechanical car repair place that from part 4. And I would say that Laurie gets to fight back way more than she did in H2O. Like, she didn't really get to fight back that much in that movie. She kind of just calls out his name like she wants to fuck him up. But the best she does is stab him a couple of times and then he falls off the balcony. And then she chops off his head. But in this movie, she does fuck him up quite a bit. In the score, I talk about the score in all my reviews. This is the closest, if not identical in some scenes. They take like the score straight out of the first one and insert it in this movie in random spots that fits. Like, it doesn't just feel out of place. They actually complements each scene. And like I said, this movie is pretty brutal. We get a couple of good kills in this movie. A lot of the best kills are off camera. That could be a negative if you're just somebody who likes to see slashers, to see brutality on screen. You're not going to get that. This movie tries to pay a little bit more homage to the creepiness of the first one where you don't need to see too much. It's just like off-camera stabbings. But it's still effective. The acting across the board is very good except for the part of one character, the husband of Karen Strode. The third act of this movie is definitely the best part of this movie. Ever since when he breaks down and he's walking down that street that you see in the trailer and he goes into that random house, it's pretty much fun from there on in. There might be a couple of dry moments in this movie, but it's pretty fun from that moment on. Now, my negatives of this movie. I will make a spoiler review where I will go more in depth with all the things that I did love and didn't like without spoiling too much. This has definitely got the most kills, I'll tell you that. Yes, this is funny, and that could be a good thing, but there's sometimes where it's just kind of changes the tone, and then it tries to go back to serious way too quick. You got a scene where it's just like, you got these two hokey, not as hokey as it feels like a homage to the two cops in Halloween 5, except nowhere near as shitty. But it goes from this funny scene to back to serious again with Michael and Laurie Strode's daughter. Oh, I'm sorry, no, Laurie Strode's granddaughter. So sometimes the tone can change too quick, and then you get this character who's supposed to be the new Dr. Loomis, and even Laurie drops the line like, so you're the new Loomis. And I did not like that line. And without spoiling too much, the biggest negative in this movie is the character direction they take this new Loomis. I don't want to spoil anything, but he is not going to be your favorite character. He's not going to be a new Loomis. He's not going to drop any iconic lines that you can like post on your wall or like a poster, like, oh, this is a great quote. He's not going to say anything. This guy's motivation, his whole drive is to find out basically, why doesn't Myers talk? You know, like, what's driving him? How does he feel when he kills people? You know, like the people who want to get inside the mind of Ted Bundy. This guy wants to get in the mind of Myers, but he takes a complete change of character and there's no transition of this character. He completely changes at one moment. I'm not going to say what happens or anything. I'm just saying this character is the worst. This movie does focus on Laurie's granddaughter a little too much. They insert this relationship that she has with this piece of shit who it's the cliche cheating on you at the dance thing. That's not a spoiler for this movie, really. It's something you see in every movie. Like, oh, you're cheating on me. Bye-bye. But the negative attached to that is that you create an asshole character not to kill him off. That's the last we see him, is that, oh, he's an asshole. Bye-bye, we're not going to see you again. The movie opens up with just at that prison scene that you see in the movie trailer of them interrogating Michael, trying to find out, why he did what he did, but he just sits there. And then all of a sudden, he's just like, after he holds that mask and the credits start rolling, I feel like that was kind of a weak open. I wish and kind of am glad they didn't. Wish that they opened up with the very beginning of that movie to see what happened after that. But we don't get to see that. This movie never goes to 1978. So if you're looking forward to that, to see if they actually continue right after, they don't. And I feel like they show his face just a little too much. I mean, at one moment it looked like he had a weird eye from Don't Breathe, the blind guy, or maybe the way it was lit. It was a very quick moment where you actually saw his eye. And Myers' face is supposed to be mysterious. They do their best to keep his head and face, mainly his face, hidden from camera. Like he's just in the distance without his mask, and they have like a tree blocking his face. But I feel like they show his face just a little too much. They should have did more camera work to not show his face as much as they did. I'm not saying they show his full face, just like, it's like a lot of half shots of his face, like just this part, like too much, just a little too much. And it does take a while for him to get to actually breaking out, killing people. And my negative with him breaking out is like, we don't get to see him break out. But I guess that pays homage to the first one. Because in the first one, we don't see him break out. But that was one thing I was looking forward to. Like, how's he going to break out? How's he going to, like, crash his car that we see in the trailer? How does he break out? I want to see that. But you don't see it. There's just things that I wish I did see that I didn't get to see. But I can't say that's too much of a negative. Because I think they were trying to pay homage to the first one. Where you see all these people just walking in the night. That's another homage this movie does. But I just kind of wish I could have seen how he broke out. But now it's just up to interpretation. Positive, negative.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
But yeah, the first like 25 to 30 minutes can be very boring. There's a lot of dialogue. It's not interesting dialogue. It's just kind of like focusing on Laurie's granddaughter and then Laurie's daughter, Judy Greer. I love Judy Greer and Archer, and I was disappointed in her character in this movie. They made her this weird, just gung-ho hippie, just this hippie, basically. And when I say hippie, I mean like just like peace on earth, everybody's so lovely. There's no such thing as evil. And it's just like very cringeworthy. It's just like, ugh. Does she really say that? That everybody's just loving, there's no such thing as evil? She's just crazy. Like, I did not like the character direction of Laurie's daughter, Karen. Which I believe the name Karen is a homage to Halloween 6, I believe. Or was her name Kara in Halloween 6? I can't remember. And the ending shot of this movie will make you think of different scenarios. Like, where is this going? Is it going to go here? What does this last shot mean? It's an ambiguous last shot, and I'm not too crazy about the last shot of this movie. I wish it would have ended on a different note. I wish we would have just gotten an answer. Is Myers dead? Or is Laurie dead? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I will save all of that for my spoiler review. But this, I'm just going to say I'm not too crazy about the last shot of this movie. I'll just put it at that. But yeah, overall, I was kind of disappointed, but I enjoyed some of the scenes where I had a smile on my face. I was like, oh shit, it's going down. There's a good like 3 to 4 minute shot that pays homage to the beginning of the first movie, where it's just constantly just going with Myers house to house. Probably the best part of the movie, and that's why it's in the trailer. That's what trailers do. They show you one of the best parts, and then they just kind of leave you disappointed because you realize that you kind of saw all the best parts in the trailer. But this movie, if you are a Halloween fanatic, you will probably put this in your top 5. I mean, there's 11 movies now, so top 5 is pretty good. Some people might put it as number 2. I've seen it. So therefore, when it comes to Halloween, if you are a Halloween fan, this movie is definitely worth seeing. So go out and see it, and then when this movie comes out, the Blu-ray and DVD, you will definitely want to go out and buy it. But if you are a casual horror fan and you just want to see a movie, this movie does have flaws in it. Dumb character decisions. So therefore I say when it comes to Halloween, if you're just a movie goer, that I would just rent this at Redbox. And those are my thoughts on the new Halloween movie. Definitely good, suspenseful in some moments, but a little too comedic here and there. It's written by Danny McBride, so you can expect that. But those are my thoughts on the new Halloween movie. Did you enjoy this movie? Is it your top 3, top 5, number 2? Better than the original? Surprise me. Let me know in the comments below, and if you're new to this channel, I do all kinds of horror movie reviews, new movie reviews, and trailer reactions and rankings. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you want to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my beautiful cartoon face in 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.